kick it.
Hello, all of you slimesters, and welcome back. Phoebe, it's good to see a little cat butt.
She timed it perfectly.
Perfect timing.
Oh.
Right on the countdown.
Yeah.
It is good to be back at the Slime Cooler, and for our Conversation With episode, we are joined by Liz from Nostalchicks. How are you doing, Liz?
Hi, guys. I'm doing good. I'm excited to chat.
It's good to have you. And we were all commenting before the episode that we love so much of the stuff that she's got back in the back. The Blockbusters sign, the Mountain Dew cooler, the Hey Arnold, and the Chucky, and by Chucky I mean Chuck E. Cheese plush and the lava lamp. So for those of you who are just listening, you're missing out on some of the cool stuff. Go over to the YouTube channel and watch the episode because you got to see this stuff. It's really cool. But welcome to the show. I love the Double Dare shirt. That looks so cool.
Yes. Yes, I felt like it was fitting. I had to pull out all my Nickelodeon.
Now,
very appropriate.
I gotta ask because we also do a lot of highlight a bunch of collector stuff. But obviously you've gotten into collecting a bit. How long have you been collecting 90s nostalgia stuff?
Actually, not that long. Everything that I've collected is not from my childhood. It's, I wish I saved a lot of things that I had, but only in the past, about 3 years, I actually decided to redo one of my rooms, and we kind of first made it into a Y2K room, just like my bedroom growing up. And that sort of formed the addiction of it didn't stop there. And then I did a Disney room because we live local to the park. So it's a 90s Disney room. And then it turned now we need this entertainment, 80s Nickelodeon arcade vibe. And here we are.
That's so neat. Wow. Because you live in Florida. So you live literally right next to the park.
Yeah, we can hear the fireworks at night.
No kidding.
Gosh.
Wow.
I mean, not crazy loud, but we're 15 minutes away from
That's
Disney.
neat.
So I definitely walk by the old Nickelodeon studios all the time and get really sad.
The blue horrible building now.
so sad.
Sacrilegious. Exactly.
Ew.
It's kind of nothing now, right? I think Blue Man Grouper is not even there.
Yeah, they're not there.
It's
It's
an empty building now.
It's employee break area. Yeah, they run in there for their breaks. Yeah,
it's just sitting there. But what they every year when they do the Grinch, the Christmas for the Grinch, that's where they actually do the show.
Oh,
so I've done a video a few times of when you go into the bathrooms. I mean, I know it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but you can see the old slime Nickelodeon tile still.
Oh man,
I'm happy that that's still there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yes.
It's one of the only things that remains, I think, from Nickelodeon era is the slime tile in the bathrooms. I heard.
That's all that's left.
Yeah.
So we're here to talk about Nostalchicks. How did that get started?
Well, I actually started in fashion. That was my background. I was a stylist and I would do TV segments, just always loved clothing. And ironically, I wanted to have a playful name to my shop because we started just as a boutique. We did some fun theme park fits, but we also had traditional boutique clothes. And like I said, ironically, I wanted the name to be fun and heartfelt and feel that nostalgia. So we came up with Nostalchicks, and it's just evolved so much from then. I realized as much as I loved fashion, I really liked that playful side. So we started doing vintage. We started selling vintage things. We started selling old toys, and we have a spot in an antique mall. And then it kind of blossomed into I loved making nostalgic content, and we have a community, we have a blog. So it's really transitioned a whole lot, but the heart was always that I really loved nostalgia and also mixing in clothing and, telling stories with cool props and things like that.
Now,
that's cool how that got started. It's neat.
Yeah.
Very cool.
What's unique about Nostalchicks just in general, because a lot of times we have other podcasters on the show, and obviously they want to talk about their show and that kind of stuff, which is perfect, which is great to have. And then we have people who are collectors and they just show off their stuff. You've got fingers in all kinds of pies. It's not just one thing. It's several different things. So yes, you've got the Instagram page, which you do amazing stuff with. You've got the website, you've got fashion. What all are you involved with? Because you got a ton of stuff.
Yeah, like I said, so we have our shop site, which is, has been there for a few years now, and that's where you can go on and buy like boutique clothing, you can buy vintage, you can buy all the goodies. Some of the, we find goodies like I have here in that I collect. And then we have a website that's just nostalchicks.com. You can find everything all in one, but that is like where you can go watch old commercials and you can find blog posts, and maybe it's not something we're selling, but we're recommending like some of our favorite pieces. Maybe it's like all Gullah Gullah Island facts. And so we rolled that in, and we're trying to get that to be a lot more community based, forums, and have people chit chat. And then, we have the social media side. Like I said, we're also at the Antique Mall. So if you're ever like in Lakeland, Florida, anyone coming to the parks and visiting, we have 2 immersive spaces there that look like old bedrooms as well. One's like kind of a kid bedroom, and one looks like a Y2K lounge. And a ton of Nickelodeon stuff in there too.
So cool.
So like a lot of different things, which makes me happy. I mean, everything goes together, but it's been really, really fun to branch out and, just try to get people involved. That's a thing.
Yeah, what you were saying about like the styling with the bedroom and stuff, I think that helps so much with like presenting it, right? Because it's how you remember it. I try to do the same thing with my collection behind me. It's like there's just little things that are so important to help like retain that feeling of nostalgia through the items. So it's really cool. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out if I'm ever Florida way soon.
Yeah, definitely check it out. I feel like people really like to feel that feeling of just being brought back to, whatever. And that's really where a lot of my passion stem from.
I think it does bring you back, because when you were growing up, you're always in your bedroom. So it's like, it completely like throws people back in time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious about the Y2K room. Like that really piqued my interest right there. I'm curious to know what that's about.
In the Antique Mall, it's kind of got the whole zebra print, the pinks and the old CD holders.
Yeah,
and,
inflatable chair.
All the Lisa Frank style Y2K stuff.
Yes, we have the shoe chair.
Nice.
And then the Y2K room that I did here at my house, it's got like the canopy bed, and I've literally put posters absolutely everywhere. So
maybe some Spice Girls, maybe.
Oh, Spice Girls is my
Alex.
adore beads. I'll have to give you guys a review.
Love to check it out.
Yes.
Manny, you're just trying to get fired today.
It's either Manny or it's me. Usually it's me. I'm usually the one who brings up either the sponge who shall not be named or the girls of Spice.
I almost fired my boss today. Because we got it's so weird that I was bossing her around today, which I think was hilarious, because I have a very, very close relationship with my boss. It's like she's like a surrogate mother, and we just had a new hire today, and this new hire is a very good friend of mine, and he knows there's a lot of songs that annoys me, and he's like, it's okay if you annoy me, I'll just play these songs. And then my boss said, do not play Spice Girls. Nothing will make him more angry. And he went, oh, I didn't know that. And I looked at my boss, okay, you're fired.
But what song?
Probably everyone, I think.
Here's your answer. There is one in particular, but I'm not even going to say it. But it's one of their most well-known ones. So I'm sure you guys can guess what it is. But going along, because I'm looking at the website for Nostalchicks, there's all kinds of stuff on this thing for anyone who's not checked this out. Because I mean, like you said, there's old commercials and things like that, but you've got blogs. What what inspires you to pick certain content for your blogs?
I've like you mentioned the commercials and things like that. I've been obsessed with watching old commercials. Like it's like my favorite thing to do, like sit and just watch old commercial blocks. I love that. And I also really love like random facts. Like I know I mentioned even like Gullah Gullah Island. I love like knowing that was filmed with the same set as Clarissa and things like that. So a lot of times it's just, I'll literally research something or find something and it'll inspire me to do something. And because we like to bring that element with like the pieces and the clothes, a lot of times we'll add like little boards that maybe they're just shoppable, or if it's Double Dare, it'll be like, here's a green tee and this, and you can put a double dare outfit together. So I just think it's just like things that I'm liking and researching, sometimes no rhyme or reason to it, just that it falls in that bracket and we're having a lot of fun.
It's kind of like what you feel, right?
Yeah. I feel like I wish I had the answer sometimes to be that we're like so planned out and like we have this
sometimes it's immaculate, like that's
formula.
how you feel.
Yeah, but a lot of times it's like, wow, I felt like I saw something, it was really cool and we want to share it. Also, like going back to the fact that we're by the theme parks and things like that, sometimes that stuff will just spark and something new will come out and we'll play off of that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask.
So I noticed you.
Oh, go ahead, Kat. Go ahead, Kat.
Looking at the website, I mean, you have stuff from Disney, Nickelodeon, Mary-Kate and Ashley, you've got Chuck E. Cheese, Blockbuster, like all these different properties. It's so expansive. Do you have a current favorite that you're researching or that you're into right now? I know I know you probably can't pick a favorite, but current favorite maybe.
That's a good question. That's a good question because that's really hard. I do think I have that problem where I love so many different things. I definitely have been loving a lot of like the Chuck E. Cheese, Discovery Zone, those like Pizza Hut, McDonald Land, kind of that like 90s birthday party threw up all over you. I don't know why, I love that.
The kid core aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yes, there's something about the colors, I keep saying, that just like, I think they do something for my brain.
Yeah.
I always say to like my husband, like, oh, that's what like my brain looks like, when we'll see something like that. I'm obsessed with that stuff, especially as we're like seeing it less and less in anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just sharing with the group over in Evansville, Indiana. There is a place called Deep Blue. I have no idea if this is a local thing or if this is a chain that's starting to take off. But I took my boys there, and it was so much like Discovery Zone.
Wow.
It was just a repurposed Discovery Zone. They just made it look like the ocean where there's fish and sharks and all this stuff everywhere. But it was Discovery Zone. Like, and they also had one area that was nothing but wall climbing stuff, and they had a small section just for toddlers. And it's like, this is the coolest freaking thing. I've not seen anything like to this degree in years, and I was so happy to see that. And then because my son had seen commercials of Discovery Zone, he came out at one point, big smile on his face. I said, "Son, this is essentially Discovery Zone," and he went, and then he just dove right back in, which I was so happy to see. That's just not gone. That enthusiasm is still there, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I know, we need more of it. We do.
We do.
We think we don't, but it's cool.
So I gotta ask, since you're such a Disney fan, are you familiar with Disney Quest?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yes. I even have again, when I say I collect like Disney, I'm not like a big Disney merch person for current stuff, but that whole time period, the 25th anniversary, 90s, yes, Disney Quest. I have little beanies from like Club Disney and Disney Quest. It's like the Mickey and Minnie, the sweatshirt. Yes, like, and that building is empty right now.
Yes. There are so few of them. Yeah, there was a handful of them they put around, and there was the one that stayed for a while. But yeah, for those not familiar on the podcast, it was essentially Disney's try at something like a Discovery Zone / arcade, but with all the money of Disney behind it. and they were crazy. I got to go to one once, and it was insane. I was too young to do most of it, but yeah, just like multiple stories of just this crazy kids environment with games and like VR stuff, but like early 2000s terrible VR.
Yes,
but yeah.
Like, it would be very, very dated for sure right now, but really, really cool. And when they were doing that, they got into the fast food space. A lot of people don't know that too. I don't know if you know that, but it was open at the same time. It was called Mickey's Kitchen, and it was in Disney stores in the malls. So I'm like, oh, that would have been really cool to see too.
Going back to the website, there's games on this website?
Yeah, so like a lot of the old school games that you played, a lot of those sites are still live. So we wanted to make it fun, and you have like one spot to be able to go and play those games again. So you'll see a lot of like the 2000s, or I mean, I know we have like some of the Disney ones like Tarzan and stuff like that, to give you that like plug-in game, vibe that we used to do.
Those are so fun.
Cool. That's so cool. It's so immersive, this website. There's so many things. Like there's a chat.
There is a chat. People, it is really fun to see people write little things on there, and
and the music too. You've got music on there as well. I saw you've got like the 90s sing along VHS, and which by the way, great VHS. I mean the Grinning Ghosts track, best track. The video too.
I was petrified, but it was in all the best
the trees and God, what is it? It's not the Wicked Witch, but whatever her name is. Yes, like, Captain Hook's dead eyes.
And they were so scary looking then. You look back and you're like, how was I like not more afraid? But it's great.
It made the Haunted Mansion feel so big.
You're so small as a kid, so it's like when you see it, you're like, oh, it's huge. It's like a giant. So it's like it's freaky.
Maybe afraid to go on the ride because I thought those trees were going to come out at any moment while I was standing in line.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's all kinds of things just across multiple platforms for all of you who are watching or listening. I mean, Nostalchicks, there's an Instagram page, there's a TikTok, there's a YouTube, there's a Pinterest, there's a store, there's a website. Like Liz has utilized so much of a digital presence, and it all links back to just fun, nostalgic content. So if you go looking for her, you're gonna find her, and everything is so much fun. So please check out more of this stuff. You had also started, which we had mentioned a few weeks ago, that you had invited us to be part of your spotlight thing. What is that, and how long has that been going on?
So, well, thank you, by the way, for saying that it's so much fun, because I love that.
Yeah.
Again, really what we want to do is just, going back to maybe no rhyme or reason, just really want to have community and be fun. One thing in the space that I actually noticed is really how I feel kind a lot of the nostalgic creators are. Between podcasters or just, general influencers, creators, whatever it was, shops. I actually feel like the nostalgic space collectors, they're like really, really cool. And I know that sounds funny, but sometimes you go into other spaces, in influencing and things like that, and people aren't always, as kind or whatnot. So I loved that about this community. I always saw people like cheering, one another on. And I just thought it was like a great way for us to continue to get other people's names out there. So it's pretty recent. I mean, you guys were one of the very first, really. We started it about maybe 2 months ago. And, my goal was to highlight shops, creators, podcasters, anyone that really fit in the space. And kind of have this hub that, maybe, in 6 months, you're just going and you want to find a shop or a podcast or, a creator. And it was just another little networking area. I've loved doing it because I've learned so much about people, and I have so much fun with the questions. I really didn't want like a cookie cutter, tell us about your podcast, tell us about this. Like, I really tried to pay attention to everybody that, we've interviewed, because that's the point too.
Mhm.
So I have a lot of fun just even asking people sometimes, I'll be like cosmic brownies or Dunkaroos. Then maybe I'll ask more.
Cosmic brownies.
Yeah,
Dunkaroos.
cosmic brownies.
Dunkaroos. But old Dunkaroos, not new Dunkaroos.
Oh, new Dunkaroos. No.
Yeah.
Not good. Yes. But just having a lot of fun that way. And again, really just wanted it to have a space for people to network, to have more of a community, and continue to see that, cheering one another on and encouraging, us to love all of our fandoms.
Yeah, I very, very much agree with that, because we have been very fortunate to have had the opportunity to talk to numerous people who are across this nostalgic umbrella. Some who are very focused on a very specific thing, some that are just this broad, general nostalgic place. Some are on books, some are on just toy reselling, some are on podcasting. There's so many
Yeah.
different things. There are people who focus on 90s video games and movies,
Mask,
and
figures, all sorts of
Yeah.
stuff.
there's so many great content creators out there, and whenever you're looking for something, you can get lost in the shuffle with all these wonderful people.
Yeah.
And I've loved being able to network and get to communicate with some of these people. I don't get to do it as often because I'm often so busy doing my thing. But whenever I have the opportunity to connect with others like you, they've been wonderful. They've been some of the nicest, coolest people, and they have amazing
Yeah.
stories too. And it's just so cool. So I love we've been wanting to build community, and I love that when you reached out to me and you had said that you wanted to continue to build community, I'm like, this is exactly what we want to
Yeah.
do. So I'm very happy that you have been reaching out, and also the fact that whenever I saw the one that you had featured us in, you had other people too, and I knew like two, three of those people, and I was like, oh, these guys are here too. So then I had to go check them out, and then there was a
Yeah.
couple that I had never seen before, but I think as somebody else, I think Manny had said, oh yeah, I watched them too. I'm like, oh, cool. So
Yeah.
it was cool
1985
that,
Inc.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, he's got some of the coolest Nickelodeon stuff ever.
yes,
But yeah, that's what's been really fun about it too, is just like we've had this mix of, sometimes it's like really big creators or podcasters, or like we just had Millennial Misery, who, they share a ton of memes and things like that. But then we might have a creator who is really just starting out, and they just are passionate, and we want to involve them. And it's really cool to also see this mix of like mixing some of the bigger accounts with some of the smaller accounts, and feeling like, wow, like that was really cool. Or we also try to group people together sometimes if we highlight multiple, like that we feel like mesh off of each other, and that other people might, if they like that creator, they might like this podcast. Or so that's been really fun too.
Yeah.
Now,
I feel
Liz-
like nostalgic count. Sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
no, go ahead. Continue.
I was going to say, I feel like nostalgic content, it's comfort content, right? So it makes
Yes.
sense that everybody who's just sharing what they love from their childhood and wanting to bond over this stuff, it's just like one big heartfelt community, and there's something for everybody. And, everybody has their little niche and their little corner of, what makes their inner child's heart happy, and just wants to share that with everybody else. And I just think that's really special. That's why I love this community. And thank you for building this hub so that we can explore other areas of our childhood that we might have forgotten about, and get to know other people who have the same or similar interests. So it's really cool what you're doing.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, we love it. And like I said, getting to meet people like you guys, and I learned so much too. I'm sure you guys can say this a lot too, but my memories get unlocked all the time too.
Yes.
So I think that's what's like really fun too. And I'm like, oh my gosh, when you think you've like kind of have like done it all, sometimes in certain ways, there's so much.
man,
And
you
I'm
were
really
gonna say something.
Yeah, I'm actually glad that Kat asked that question, because it segued into my question, actually. So, Liz, between all the nostalgic things that you talk about and think about, what is the one nostalgic comfort food that you always go to that just makes you feel right at home?
Still
you
like
can pick.
macaroni and cheese, like any kind of form of, I mean, maybe that's not like nostalgic enough, you know, because it might not be like a cosmic brownie or something, but just like,
Yeah.
I can like, yeah, any form.
And I gotta
Yeah.
say, I completely am there with you on that because I was one of those kids. I had to have mac and cheese with every single meal. And my mom
Oh,
said if I didn't have mac and cheese, I would get mad. I had to have it. And it was always the Kraft macaroni and cheese.
I was gonna ask, is it a specific
The
brand?
shapes, you get a
Yeah.
shape. Is there a shape that
If there was a
your...
shape, then I wanted the shape. I didn't care what the licensing was with it. I had to have that one. But
Like the Animaniacs,
oh
Kraft,
yeah,
and
Spider-Man.
Rangers.
Mario.
Yeah,
Yeah.
had to have them. And then one time, I think I got this dinosaur one, but it was not Kraft. It was just the noodles, and there was no cheese with it. And Mom was like, "I don't know how to do this without the cheese. I don't know." So I never got to have that one. And of all the macaroni and cheeses that I remember, that's the one because it was the one I didn't get to have. But now I'm an adult, and I still will do that. If I'll go to put on a movie, and
yes,
I'll
it's
just make a
Yeah.
whole box of mac and cheese, and I'll just eat it straight out of the pot.
it's
And
it's the best when you're like, especially watching a movie or a show or something like that. Also, I do blame like kids' cuisines a lot for that.
Yes.
yeah.
When
Kid
you had to
cuisine.
have the
100%.
side, you know, it was kind of like, you know, it went with your food. You had a little bit of chicken, a little bit of mac and cheese. So
Little
Brownie.
brownie or
Little
cookie.
brownie in the
Yeah.
middle. Yeah.
Nuclear hot / frozen.
Oh my
brownie.
God, yeah.
yeah, one
So
part.
unpredictable.
Exactly.
So I was gonna ask, with you collecting and starting to pick up items, do you? I'm guessing you maybe go to thrifts, or do you eBay, or do you go to like local?
All the above.
All the above. Okay.
All the above. Yeah, antique malls, thrift stores, eBay. Obviously, for eBay are like the things that you
Specifics.
just know that you want.
Yeah.
Everything else is kind of like, what am I going to find?
Right.
a lot of-
Explore, discover.
Yeah.
Right.
Great things about the nostalgic community is all these claim sales that they have too. Like for instance, 1985. There's like tons of Nickelodeon stuff that
oh
he's got in
yes,
his collection. I mean,
Yeah.
I've gotten Allegra's window Nick Jr. T-shirts.
Oh my God.
Wow,
Oh, yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff
That-
you didn't know existed. Yeah.
But you
his
didn't know
collection is
existed.
amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Dang.
So on that, I was going to ask you, being so close to the parks. I mean, I live in LA over here in Hollywood, so we get a lot of runoff from the studios. So there's still stuff floating around in our flea markets from like the 1985 Olympics or whatever that we had down here.
Wow.
So, and there's lots of Disneyland stuff that we get. I'm curious, do you get a lot of runoff from the parks over there as well?
So actually, the antique mall that we have, the two spaces in, it's really known for like all the cool leftover like theme park. Like they get a ton of stuff from Halloween Horror Nights. So people come
Yeah.
in and they look at all the stuff from Halloween Horror Nights. Or I mean, they had pieces of the birthday cake castle, the 25th.
Yeah.
For a lot of money, and I would have wanted it, but really, really cool. I mean, Shrek 3D pieces. So yes, and that antique mall specifically, there's some vendors in there that like get that really cool stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, that's so cool. So cool.
Yeah.
Love it. I'm running out of questions without repeating myself. Anybody else have anything they want to ask?
Well, I posted this because I saw that you posted a picture of Barney. And then I added, I saw like Barney was like at a convention or something. I tagged you in it.
Yes.
What is it about Barney that you're a fan of? Because I rarely meet a lot of Barney fans, actually.
Yeah,
So it's
especially
kinda
from
neat.
our demographic.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
interesting.
I am a Barney girl forever.
Nice.
It is actually funny because I say this to my husband. I was an only child, but I like love Barney, and yet I had a babysitter who was like watching 90210. So I was like 5, holding my Barney plush, watching Barney still, but like falling in love with Luke Perry and watching 90210. And it's so funny. And he's like, how? But yeah, I know it sounds funny, but I think it's like the colors for me, even with Barney.
Yeah.
Like, when I see 90s Barney, it goes back to that. Like it does something for my brain. I don't know if it's that just that time period of like seeing when you look at a Sears catalog, or I actually recently did a video of like it was like 1991 J.C. Penney catalog, and it went really viral. But when you look at all the ads that you put together, I'm like, that's like my color story. And people kept commenting, this is the Full House set, you know, with all those like primary colors. And a lot of Barney, you know, with the purple, but all the confetti, like it really fell in there. And so I just really like, even to this day, I can notice what was like 90s Barney compared to anything after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just loved Barney. I don't know. I had a Barney birthday party and loved like Baby Bop and all of that. And so
that's awesome.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, it is funny because it's one Barney's, I feel like people either love Barney or they're like, do not like Barney. But it's still like one of the things that does the best with my content. Like, even if I post anything Barney, it's just, there is something for those people that they're like, man, it's Barney.
It was a phenomenon because I was a fan.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yes. I think we all were. You know, dinosaurs were really big in the early 90s, and that was like the dinosaur
so much dinosaur
took on everything. It was great.
Theodore Rex.
When I was in kindergarten, I think so. I was like the demographic there for Barney.
Yeah, I was too.
Well, I'll just ask a few. Hey, which preference things before we close it out?
This or that.
Yeah, very much this or that. But tell me, and they don't have to be your absolute favorites because sometimes that's hard to pick. But some of your favorite 90s sitcoms.
Well, definitely, I still, like I mentioned, Full House. I love Full House, Fresh Prince, Boy Meets World. I mean, I was really a TGIF girl too. So if it played on TGIF, Family Matters. I mean, I still watch all of those like over and over again. So yeah.
Favorite...
I think we all love to rewatch stuff obsessively. So no, you're in really good company.
Yeah, we do. We do.
We do.
Yeah. Us, no.
Oh no.
No. Some of your favorite 90s Disney movies.
Lion King, for sure. Lion King is just the Lion King. Which is, by the way, about to be 30 years old, like on the 15th of this month.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not 30 yet, like, so how could that be 30? I'm kidding. Definitely like all the Renaissance, Little Mermaid, that whole, I mean, they're just so good. Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin,
Pocahontas, things like that.
Yeah, Pocahontas. You can't punch back. You just can't. Yeah, Hercules. It's like I could go on there.
90s musicians or bands or singers.
Well, I was a
It's okay to say the one I don't like.
Well, I did love Spice Girls, but I was a huge Britney Spears girl. Like, I was definitely loved Britney Spears. I had a huge crush on Joey McIntyre, who was actually a New Kids on the Block, and then he had a solo time. Obviously Spice Girls. I actually of course I love NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, but I actually really wasn't that big into the boy bands, which surprises a lot of people.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
90s board games.
I loved Mall Madness.
Yes.
I found one at a secondhand store here in town, and it's like almost $90.
They're hundreds. They're like,
oh yes,
if they're like working and stuff. But I guess that explains a lot about what I ended up doing too with all the sites. But I used to also love, and a lot of people don't remember this one, Ask Xandar. Do you guys remember?
Yes.
The crystal ball?
Yes.
I mean, I just have the certain phrases that I remember over and over again. And a lot of people do not remember that one. So
I don't think I've ever heard of this.
I've done a React video series with my wife, and I think the first one we did was board games, and I had both. No, I had Mall Madness in the opening credits, but Ask Xandar was one of the first ones that I had played for.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But
like a talking wizard in a crystal ball, and it's kind of like a Magic 8-Ball situation where you ask him a question,
very
and
much
move around the board, and he'll answer. Yeah.
It makes me think of the movie Big, when
Zoltar.
Big.
Yeah,
the same
essentially.
Yeah, it was
essentially.
kind of like yeah, it was sort of playing off of that for sure.
That's so cool. Wow.
Favorite game show?
Ooh, game show. I mean, obviously, I really liked Figure It Out, though. That was like a big one for me.
Mine too.
I really like Figure It Out. I think, like, even as much as I liked Legends of the Hidden Temple and stuff like that, I feel like I felt like I could do Figure It Out, where the other ones I felt like I probably wouldn't be able to do.
Let's see. We'll do one more. Favorite 90s cartoon?
That one is. I feel like I say that every question though. So Rugrats is a big one for me.
Yeah.
Love Rugrats. Also, like, I love Doug a lot too.
Yeah.
Doug was actually like my very first crush when I like was very, very, very little and didn't realize like it was a cartoon and stuff. So just a lot of the 90s Nickelodeons. Hey Arnold was good too, but yeah, Rugrats really still wins for me.
Rugrats is great, and the surrounding merchandise for Rugrats too is there's very much of it, and they had such fun stuff. I remember specifically they had this. I think it was Mott's applesauce. They had this green Mott's applesauce for breakfast.
Oh yeah,
they did.
And it's like it was really like as an adult to watch it. It's really good. Like it.
I know.
It holds up. Yeah,
it does.
Oh yeah.
You
Passover
understand
specials,
really differently. And I mean, they were like ahead of their time in a lot of things. And I'm like, so good.
And now you realize that the adults are like our age, like Stu and Dee Dee are around our age.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they made a meme a few months ago about that.
Yes.
Like, wow, I don't
with
believe
the guys, and I'm like, don't do this. Don't.
Liz,
I'm making chocolate pudding at the middle of the night because I've lost control of my life.
Liz, I want to ask you one quick thing. One of the things that I love about your bio, which completely I zoned in on it. Did you eat the Big Mac with the fancy red dress?
Yes, I took I wouldn't say fully but yes. So I took the bites out of it and everything, and it was supposed to feel like that fun vibe of, here I am dressed up, kind of very Sex in the City vibes of I'm dressed up. And that's kind of like us with nostalgia, right? It's like
absolutely. And
we live, again, by one of the biggest McDonald's. They still serve pizza there.
Oh wow!
I've seen that one. It's crazy. It's huge.
They have Mac Tonight is still in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Mac Tonight.
Wow.
Yes. I guess they said officially stopped singing recently. Used to play the piano and sing, which is heartbreaking. But yeah, when I did those photos, I was like, yeah. I mean, this is just what the brand is too. And
I am so nostalgic for Mac Tonight. I remember I was probably 3 and I had a toy with him playing his piano. I think I still have that somewhere, but oh my God.
I got a few of them back here. Not the piano ones. I got the
on the motorcycle?
Yeah.
I got them around here somewhere. Yeah, way back there. I got the plane, the motorcycle. Yeah, Mac Tonight's great, man. The music too. So clever.
Yeah.
Slaps, man. That slaps.
Flip it.
I have one of the cups. It's just so good.
Yes.
It's awesome. So
all right.
Cool.
Well, before we wrap things up, tell all of our audience where they could follow you at.
Well, we are on Instagram, TikTok, Nostalchicks, YouTube, Pinterest, and the easiest thing is if you check out our website, which you can find in our bio and all those spots. It's just nostalchicks.com. It'll eventually take you to the shop or to just watch commercials or really whatever. You get to pick what you want to do.
Yeah, and there's, like I said, she's got everything covered, and it's all top tier, great work all around. So that being said, thank you so much, Liz, for taking the time to come out and share with us all that you do. Thank you for this amazing community that you're continuing to build and add to. You are very, very much appreciated among us, and hopefully more and more people who will continue to find you. So thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Guys.
All right. That being said, everybody go check out Liz with Nostalchicks. Thank you all so much for tuning into this episode, and we'll see you on the next conversation with. Till then, we'll splat you guys later.
Splat you
later. See you later, guys.
Hey, 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 hey. No, sure enough, I'll walk into somebody from church and get off my phone, and they'll see me buying alcohol, and I'm like, that won't work.
That's pretty much
That's what happens
me.
now. That's what happens now. Before, yeah.
I can't use your camera anymore. There's no more storage on your phone.
Alex is like, I just took a
Awful.
4K video
No,
for 15 minutes, and
Top it off.
You'll have to delete some pictures off your phone, honey.
I'm
delete
gonna
all the pictures of Teddy
you.
Ruxpin.
None of those are on my phone.